Hi, this is John, and I'm going to begin with a bow. So we're heading into Unit 5 now. Uh, we're still in the part of the course where we're teasing apart the three phases of a life transition, which are also reflected in the three phases of a rite of passage. As you know, these phases, these stages in real life so often overlap and blend together and move around. This is the organic nature of life transitions and even rites of passage. I think they're more clear with the rites of passage because we have more choreography over the events and the enactments of a rite of passage. So maybe they're more clear, these three stages in a rite of passage. Nevertheless, we can tease out the severance phase, the threshold phase, the reincorporation phase, the endings, the liminal time in between, and the new beginnings of our life transitions. So we're taking 2 weeks with the severance phase. My view here, my understanding is that there are certain inherent qualities of our inner nature. These are not merely learned, they are part of our being as human beings, part of all of being, these various qualities. Last week we looked at the quality of strength, vitality, aliveness, a certain kind of aliveness, that is, an expansive and big and out loud kind of aliveness. So hopefully you begin to recognize this in your life in various ways, and particularly the role that this quality of strength can play in life transitions. It's there. It's there in the aggression, it's there in the anger, it's there in the courage, it's there in the willingness to take a risk, to move out of an old phase into a new one. It's there, and I'm hoping that by drawing attention to it, we can better integrate this energy and really truly find it as an ally to us. So we don't have to shy away from our anger or aggression as it comes up in the severance phase of a transition. We can allow the experience of that, dig deeper into it, and find that the root of that anger or aggression, if that's what comes up, find the root of it in this quality of strength and expansion. This week we turn to a different ally, a different quality of our true nature, and that has to do with compassion, which helps us to deal with the grief that's present in virtually every transition. So rites of passage so often make room for grief, invite grief, create a container for our grief so we can access the deeper qualities that that grief can bring, so that we can better let go of the old, so that we can move forward unencumbered, without the anchor of holding on to the past or avoiding our grief. So I hope this view begins to make sense to you. And this week we're going to focus particularly on loss, grief, and the compassion that arises to help us be more present to these feelings. So that's the content part of the week. Also, just draw your attention to the review that's due by the end of Monday this week. And Also to the transition ceremony, which is coming up later in the semester, but really I'm hoping that you're giving some thoughtful attention to it at this point. You don't need to have the details of it laid out. In fact, I think it makes more sense to spend enough time clarifying the intention. What's the purpose of this ceremony? What transition are you marking? Is it a current transition? Is it an old transition that never got fully marked or affirmed? So look forward to being with you online this week. I'm going to bow again. See you online. Bye for now.